Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be this week's edition of the Will I Buy It series that I do on my channel every single week. This series was inspired by Samantha March and it basically involves me sitting down and talking to you guys about new makeup releases and whether or not I want to get them and why. I do want to say before I start this video that I am currently on a low buy. What that means is that I'm challenging myself to buy less of makeup. I actually have a rule that I'm only allowing myself to buy 2 makeup products or less per month, and that entire topic has a video for itself which I will put in the cards if you haven't seen my low buy announcement video. But that means that I am actually a lot more picky about what items I'm getting or not and why, and that kind of like translates into this series. So basically I'm going to be taking you guys through the new makeup releases for this particular week, and I'm going to be giving you guys my honest, unfiltered opinions on everything that you're going to be seeing in this video. This video will involve some interesting makeup items that you may or may not have seen already, and I'm very excited about giving you guys my own personal opinion on these releases, so let's just get into it. First off, I really want to talk about this new makeup release from Wander Beauty. I've mentioned Wander Beauty several times on my channel already. It is a makeup brand that, in my opinion, seems to market itself like as a very like higher end kind of makeup line. Then they come out with a lot of neutral things, and usually I'm not very excited about whatever they have to offer because, as you guys know, I love color, I love being bold, I love experimenting. I'm not really into like the less is more approach whenever it comes to makeup, at least not when I'm trying to have fun with it. But this is a launch that I'm kind of into. Like, I'm not gonna get this myself, of course, because like there are a few things that I want to talk about in this, but I feel like this is the most exciting thing that I've ever seen from Wander Beauty that I can remember. This is going to be a new Wondrous Fling eyeshadow palette. This is an eyeshadow palette that they're launching for spring, and it includes 6 shades. Yes, it is a smaller palette. And if you look at this photo, you see a selection of really like light, like very just, I feel like very easy to wear colors, but a lot of these colors are a little bit unique and unusual. Like, I love all the shimmers. I love how they have like that lavender and they have that pink, and I feel like this palette was a very like small condensed palette, but there are enough shades in this palette to create like a beautiful, more natural look, and you can also have some fun with it. These are not your cookie cutter, we already have these kinds of shades moment. It's kind of like a more unique take on like a neutral spring palette, which I'm really kind of into. I'm not going to be getting this palette myself because, as somebody who loves and is obsessed with color, I can dupe this palette several times over with the colors that I have in my collection already. But this palette is going to be $25 and there are 6 shades in it. And from what I can tell, the swatches do look quite promising and the color story is quite lovely. So if you're looking at this palette and you think that it might be a good idea for you, well, of course, go for it. I mean, I have not swatched this palette myself. I can't speak to the quality, you guys know this, but I think that considering that Wander Beauty does usually come out with like some items that are a little bit more on the basic side, I think that this is a little bit of a breath of fresh air, if you will, which I really do appreciate. Next up, I want to talk about BH Cosmetics. They're launching this new collection, which is called the Color Festival Collection, and it includes a 20-shade eyeshadow palette, which is going to be retailing for, I believe, $20, and then the brush set that they also are releasing is 12-piece, and it is going to be retailing for $27. I'm filming this on Saturday, and I believe as of yesterday, they have these items on sale. The eyeshadow palette is on sale for $18, and then the brush set is on sale for $24. I actually will say that I really do like the color story on this palette. It is a little bit on the larger side, and a lot of times, many makeup brands fall into the trap of releasing larger palettes, but with very similar colors within those palettes, you know? Like, you can almost play like a matching game with the shades, which is not a good thing. You do not want to get an eyeshadow palette that has like literally dupes for every shade within the palette. Like I just don't see any point in doing that. But BH Cosmetics has released a palette that is this one right here, and it does seem to include several shades that are independent of each other. There are several shades in this palette that are vaguely similar, but on the whole, like this is quite a beautiful selection of colorful and neutral shades. Is this a palette for me? No, it's not, because again, there are several neutral shades in here. I can see myself using just about a handful of these colors. I do, however, love those like green colors. Like I love that lavender, that blue is really calling my name, but the rest of the colors I'm just not too altogether into. I just feel like there's so many amazing colors in this palette, but then again, there are some colors in here that I personally will not be able to use or will not want to use. That's more like it. I just do not want to use some of the shades in this palette, so that's why this is going to be a pass for me. The brush set, I don't know. Like at this point, I feel like I have the brushes that I need already in my makeup collection. Like I have brushes that I can use to create beautiful looks, and that's what I need. You know, like I don't feel like I need more brushes. I might change my mind in about 2 seconds. I don't think so. I mean, maybe I will in about a few months, but my point is, I like brushes, alright? But I don't need any new ones. So this entire thing is going to be a pass for me, but I feel like, you know, for the festival season, it's a nice launch, but it's just not a launch that works for me. Here is the collection that everybody has been going all bananas about. This is the new launch from Jeffree Star. Now, he is launching a spring 2019 collection. There are several different things within this collection. I'm just going to break it down for you. He is launching a Blue Blood palette, a selection of velour lip scrubs, liquid frost highlights, and there's also going to be some merch. And in addition to this, he is launching a brand new mini liquid lipstick set that is inspired by like this blue color story, which I actually really do kind of like. I will tell you that I created this look inspired by the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette, which is the name of the palette that he is launching. I actually have a video coming out sometime this week in which I'm going to talk more in depth about the Blue Blood palette and why I'm not gonna get it. I feel like a lot of colors in the Blue Blood palette are absolutely divine. However, I think that there are some colors in this palette that I simply will not necessarily be using, and that's why I'm just not really interested in getting it. Since I'm on the slow buy, I just want to make sure that I'm super picky about everything that I'm buying, and I'm looking at this palette and I'm like, do I need this palette to create a selection of beautiful blue looks? No, I do not, and that's why I'm not going to be getting this palette myself. I will say that the thing that I am quite excited about whenever I look at this collection is the selection of mini velour liquid lipsticks. I love these. I feel like I kind of want to get them myself. I don't think I will because I already have a few things that I want to get. And since I am on this low buy, I'm limited to how many things I can get a month. I love all the different colors, and Jeffree Star's formula is eye safe as well. So you can use these shades on your eyes. On your eyelids, of course, but I feel like if there's one thing in this collection that I would get, it would probably be this set. I don't think I'll get it though, because again, I do have other things that I want to purchase, but this entire collection is quite interesting. It looks quite fun. However, I do think that it is quite easy for me to step back from the hype, and I kind of don't really want to get it myself. So this is going to be a pass from me. But I am quite excited to see all the different blue looks that everybody's going to be coming up with this palette. Maybe at some point I will be doing a video in which I dupe some shades from this palette, maybe all of the shades, I don't know. I think it would be nice to create like an alternate Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. Not that his original Blue Blood palette has anything wrong with it, I have no idea. I mean, I just feel like a lot of times it's great to like just look at your own collection, like just look at your own personal collection, see what you have and work with it. I actually recently did post a video in which I talked about my best and worst blue eyeshadow shades and which ones I like and which ones I don't and why. And there are actually some really beautiful standout blue shades in that video. And if you are somebody that either doesn't want to purchase from Jeffree Star because you don't feel comfortable doing so, or just want to get like an alternative product that is not necessarily this particular palette, I would highly suggest checking that video out. It will be in the cards. But yes, I love the entire theme of this collection. I think it's kind of kind of cool. And again, I cannot wait to see everybody's beautiful blue looks, because I feel like whenever a big palette or a big launch like this comes out, everybody starts like sort of like using that as inspiration, either with or without the actual product, and I feel like it's really fun to see what everybody's coming up with. So again, excited about this, but not excited enough to actually get it. Next up is a launch from Natasha Denona. They're coming out with a Biba palette, and this is going to be a 15 shade eyeshadow palette, and the colors are quite neutral, they're quite warm toned. I believe that this was inspired by the Biba movement, or rather fashion label of the 60s. That's kind of like where I think they got the inspiration from. And I mean, I like that, but at the same time, I don't like the actual palette because it is so very neutral. It is so very neutral, but I can see a lot of people actually really enjoying it, and I have been like looking around on the internet, and I see a lot of people have already purchased this palette and they are quite intrigued by it. I, however, look at this palette and I see something that is quite neutral, and that's why I did not want to get it myself. So this is going to be a pass from me, but I can see a lot of people really enjoying it and really finding great ways to use it. However, this is just not something that's really up my alley. Something that is really exciting is this new collection from MAC Cosmetics. They're collaborating with Disney and Aladdin, and they are releasing a collection that is inspired by the upcoming live-action film Aladdin, which I am quite excited about. I am really, really interested in seeing that movie. It is such a beautiful story. I will say that I actually never saw the Disney cartoon movie, but I feel like the entire legend of Aladdin, like the original story that it is based off of, is quite fascinating, and I've always been really interested in that particular story. This new collection is going to consist of a bronzer, an eyeshadow palette, and a lipstick, and I believe that's pretty much all that we're seeing so far. I will say that I do like how they are including like a bright hot pink lipstick. I feel like it's kind of fun, it's kind of interesting. I am looking around and I see a lot of people really getting into like the pink lipstick look, and it's interesting because for such a long time everybody was not very interested in wearing like bright pink lipstick. It was kind of considered as something that people really weren't that into, but I've sort of been getting into it and I see other people have been getting into it as well, so I like how they're including that in the collection. The bronzer, I mean, it's a bronzer with the lamp embossed on it, so it's not really nothing quite special, but the eyeshadow palette, that's where I'm like really just like, you know, pricking my ears up and looking at it. Well, that makes no sense, but I'm kind of I want to talk about the eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadow palette, I will say that it's a better color story than I was expecting that they would do, because I heard that they were launching this collection and I was like, it's probably going to be boring. I don't think that they're going to like come out with anything quite exciting. I will say that I was quite surprised when I saw this. I like how they elected to work with like, this like purplish kind of theme, and I saw the swatches from the palette and they do look quite interesting and quite promising. Again, you do have some basic neutral colors that will work for somebody who is looking for that, and then you also have like some fun purple shades that kind of fit in the Aladdin theme as well. So altogether, I feel like this was a good palette for what they were going for. I think that I am not altogether interested in this palette myself. You guys know that whenever I look at a new item, a new eyeshadow palette in particular, I want something that is colorful to the max. I don't want anything that has any kind of like hint. Well, maybe not a hint. I don't really want something that has any kind of like a neutral look to it. I want something that's like, you know, bam, and that's what I look for. Like I want something like really bright and colorful. So while this is really interesting and it kind of looks cool, it's not something that I am like leaning into, because I feel like it's kind of like, it's a little bit too like not colorful enough for me. And I know I'm being super picky. Like, she is being so picky. But, you know, like, if you're going to spend your money on something, it might as well be something that you actually really do love. Okie dokie, let's talk about a new MAC launch. This is going to be a collaboration with somebody called Elseed. I do not know who that is. There's going to be a shadow palette, a extra dimension skin finish highlighter, 4 lipsticks that are going to be all matte and some brushes. I personally, I like this. I like this, but I don't love it, you know? You will find that common theme in a lot of this video. Just saying. I think that the lipstick shades are really fun. I feel like the pink, the coral, and the nude are all shades that I really just like love. But the eyeshadow palette, similar gist. I mean, I like I would say like a certain portion of the palette that's colorful, and then the other shades are neutral, so I'm kind of like not too into those. The skin finish highlighter, I mean, at some point it would be fun to get like the skin finish highlighter. I've seen so many amazing like reviews over it, and everybody seems to be going bananas over that highlighter, but I have never owned it. I've tried it and I've loved it, but I've never owned it. So I mean, this is like a collection that I'm like into, but at the same time I'm not like altogether into, so this is gonna be a pass from me. But I mean, like, at this point, you guys know I am literally so picky that there's just like no words for it. I feel so guilty like being like, yeah, I like it, but then again I'm not gonna get it. But at the same time, like, that's the truth, you know, like, just because I like something doesn't mean that I'm going to get it. Like, I'm only gonna get it if I'm literally so smash fabulous excited about it that I can't like just like that I can't control myself, you know? And quite frankly, recently I've just like not been into like getting new makeup at all, really, and I've been more interested in using the things that I have, which is what I'm concentrating on at the moment. Moving on though, let's talk about this new launch from Carity. I will say that this eyeshadow palette has me getting excited. I really like this eyeshadow palette. Are there a few neutrals in here that I don't really want? Yeah, of course, there are. But everybody has their opinions, okay? But I will say that overall, this eyeshadow palette is literally so cool, and I kind of really want it. And the eyeshadow palette is basically called Come As You Are, and I completely agree with that. And it looks so pretty. It looks so pretty. I really do like it. I might get it, but then again, I might not because I might persuade myself not to. But like, I'm kind of tempted by it because that yellow highlight shade has really like just got me feeling the feels. And yeah, it might just be because of like that yellow highlighter shade that I'm like just obsessed with it. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But like this entire palette is just so pretty. So like I really do like it. I think it's really nice. And then liquid lipsticks, those shades I really do find myself getting like all like tingly about, you know? So like this entire collection looks kind of cool. I kind of really like it. I need to try something from Carity. I've heard a lot of good things from the brand. I've never tried them. I want to try them. Okay, so this is like going on like my maybe list, which is better than pretty much everything that I've, you know, been mentioning in this video. So, you know, this is going on the maybe list. You might see it, you might not. I'm the type of person that's like, I don't really need to get anything unless I really want something. And I'm like, I don't really want this, but at the same time, I kind of do want this. So I'm kind of like in that weird like phase. I have no idea. This is actually something that I was kind of excited about and then kind of let down by. This is an announcement from ColourPop, well, from Trend Mood. They announced that ColourPop is going to be collaborating with Disney to create the Villains collection. They are going to be launching several sets, which are going to be $25 each, and those sets include a Super Shock highlighter compact, a Luxe lipstick, and an ultra glossy lip. And then they also have the second thing, they have the Misunderstood eyeshadow palette, which is going to be $22. So this is the best picture that I have so far of this collection. And I will say that ColourPop, I'm kind of underwhelmed. Whenever I think Disney villains, I think of something dark, sexy, smash, fabulous, and just like dark, okay? This is like if the Disney princesses became a little bit less innocent and a little bit more prone to experimentation. This is the palette that I would expect. I would not expect this from a Disney villain because, let's just face it, in like the picturesque, picture-perfect Disney universe, the Disney villains are the only dark thing in that entire universe. So why are they coming out with this for Disney villains? I mean, I want something darker. I want something more bold. I want something more striking, and this is just not it. So, ColourPop, Get it together. I'm kidding, of course. Why are they launching this collection of like medium to light colors? Like, no, 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 no. Disney, you did not do this to me. You need to give me some darker magic. You need to give me some darker, more powerful, like, excitement. You need to give me, just give me like a darker palette with like darker, more moodier shades, and we'll have like a better time, okay? Because this, my friend, this is not working for me. I'm just not into it. So this is gonna be a pass. Somebody, please, somebody come out with a villain palette that is darker. That is not this like happy-go-lucky selection of neutrals. Well, not neutrals, but like happy-go-lucky selection of like medium tones. I want something that's like deep, dark, and evil. Yes, we are talking about an eyeshadow palette, but I want it. Something that is really exciting is this launch from Menagerie Cosmetics. This is probably the one and only thing in this entire video that I truly am so excited about. This is going to be a selection of single eyeshadows from Menagerie Cosmetics. I will definitely tell you that the top 3 colors, like in the top row, as well as pretty much like every other color was some kind of like a hint of purple or green or even that pink in the lower right hand corner. Those shades are so pretty. Seriously, Menagerie Cosmetics is just one of those brands in my mind that I absolutely love, even though I haven't actually tried anything from the brand. But I love it. Like, I love the brand. You know, I might actually try this. I might actually do it. I might actually get one of these things, get one of these eyeshadows. I'm like particularly interested in that, like that highlighter yellow called Electric. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. I love it already. It is so beautiful, and yeah, I might get that. But like I will say that if I get anything from Menagerie Cosmetics, I'm probably going to get one of the eyeshadow palettes first and then move on to the singles because I'm greedy and I love more eyeshadows, you know? But yes, Menagerie Cosmetics, it's probably one of my favorite indie brands, and I haven't actually tried anything from the brand, and I feel like once I do, I will love them even more. Just saying. So this is another indie brand called Unique Beauty, or I think it's like Unique, like it's okay. It's spelled like Unique Beauty, and they have like this eyeshadow palette, and it's going to be £24.99. So 25 pounds, and the color scheme, the color scheme is actually quite cool and interesting. I really do like it. I don't think it's like my like be all end all. I'm not as excited for this palette as I am for like the Menagerie shadows, but I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. A lot of the shades are really calling my name rather loudly, and I'm kind of responding. So yes, I like this palette. I don't like love it, but I kind of love it. But I don't love it. I just love it. Which is more than I can say for a lot of these launches. But I kind of feel like, for some reason, this particular eyeshadow palette, even though you do have 2 neutralish shades in there, for some reason, like when I cover those shades up, like everything else in the palette is something that I really want and love. Enter Pat McGrath Labs, one of the few companies in this entire industry that can launch a neutral palette and still have me salivating over it. This is a new launch from Pat McGrath Labs. They're coming out with a new limited edition Eye Ecstasy kit, and it's going to include the Eye Ecstasy palette, crystalline prismatic pigment, and a Fetish Eyes mascara. Again, this is a neutral color palette, and I still am obsessed with it. See, yes, that is the power of Pat McGrath Labs. Do I wish that the color palette could include like some of like those beautiful like iridescent looking purplish and pinkish shades that we see in the packaging? Yes. But do the swatches absolutely look smash, fabulous, and amazing? Yes. Am I a little bit biased because I will always love Pat McGrath forever and always? Yes. Lime Crime is coming out with some blushes, and here are the swatches and the blushes, and I will say that I love the campaign and like packaging, you know, design. It looks so cool. Some of these shades are quite unusual as well, so it's kind of like interesting. This is going to be called the Software Blush. I will say that, yeah, the shades look kind of unique and kind of interesting. This is, in my opinion, a very interesting selection of blushes. However, do I wear blush? No. I cannot remember the last time I wore blush because I just avoid it. I just don't wear it. We have an update on Dragon Beauty from Nikita Dragon, and she basically came out with a selection of two complexion products. One was a universal color corrector, and then I believe the other thing was like a brightening powder, like some kind of like a, well, transformation face powder. Basically a selection of two powders that were supposed to be universal brightening powders, but just were not. I just feel like this entire launch is kind of awkward. I mean, like, you have like the whole idea of coming out with something like completely unique and different, and then you have like a color corrector and a selection of brightening powders, both of which claim to be universal but clearly are not. So yes, this, in my opinion, is a little bit of an awkward launch. I would even go as far to call it as a little bit of a fail for a first launch. I hope that she comes out with something more interesting, but I feel like if you're going to name your brand Dragon, even though it is her name, yes, I get that, but if you're going to name your brand Dragon, come out with something like more fun and interesting than like complexion products that don't really work for everybody, you know? This entire launch is kind of like, it's boring, you know? It's like not what you think of when you think of the idea of a dragon, you know? Like, that's just, you know, and the marketing was like so like very dragon themed. It's kind of like, this missed the mark in my opinion. I feel like she had the potential to come out with something like really cool and interesting, but it was completely missed. So this is not something that I'm interested in at all. Let's talk about Disney again. Dose of Colors is coming out with another Disney collection. This time it is Minnie Mouse themed. They have a Minnie Mouse inspired palette, lashes, glitter eyeliner, and a liquid matte lipstick. And I actually like this collection. Whenever I think Minnie Mouse, this is what I think of. I think that this hit the mark beautifully. I love the glitter liners. It would have been a little bit more fun to see like a red glitter liner, but I think the palette was done quite well. The lashes, I mean, you can't really say anything wrong about lashes. And the whole packaging was so cute, so interesting. Dose of Colors did a really good job on this launch. I really want to commend them. This was done beautifully. I feel like this is a wonderful collection. The palette is going to be $39, lashes $15, glitter liner $19 each, and then the liquid matte lipstick is going to be $18. I think that this is a good collection. Will I get it myself? No, because I'm not really much of a Disney fan. I like a lot of the potential color palettes that can be done using Disney as inspiration, but like I don't think Disney and instantly feel like beautiful sense of nostalgia. I just think Disney and I'm like, okay. You know, like I'm not like obsessed with Disney like a lot of other people. I'm just like, you know, it's a beautiful color palette. It's done very well. The packaging is very beautiful. I feel like this was done quite nicely. But do I want to get it? Not really. This is nothing that I really need in my collection, so this is going to be a pass. But yes, that is the end of this video. Those are all the products I wanted to talk about for this particular week. I do hope you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining as well as interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with my opinions? Do you not? And why? What are some of the launches that you are eyeing for this particular week? Leave me your thoughts down below. I will try and get back to you. I will say that I have been like sort of like lagging behind on answering comments lately, and I mean I have been feeling like some type of way, you know, for the past few months, and hopefully you guys understand, and hopefully you guys can forgive me for not like answering all the comments, and I really want to get back on that. I will be trying to do that as well as I can moving forward, but I hope you guys can understand. But yes, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new video for you guys, of course, so stick around until then, and I will see you later. Bye guys.